Hello, I'm Eric Schmidt, the host of Talking Schmidt Podcast.
Hello, I'm Greg Burmeister, the co-host of Talking Schmidt Podcast.
You can check us out wherever you get your podcasts. We've had some great guests like the hilarious comedian Jay Jordan,
New York One's Pat Kiernan,
and this psychopath named Ryan Bynack, who hosts the Bothering the Band podcast. Find us wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey guys, it's Nisa here with Bothering the Band. I'm really excited to be talking about my new album, Shapeshifting, out on April 26th. Hey,
Hello.
how's it going?
It's going well. Welcome to Bothering the Band.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited.
Yeah, we're thrilled. We're loving your tunes. My name's Ryan. This is Abby, and we have some really stupid questions for you. So I hope you're ready.
I'm ready.
Do you have any questions for us?
No, I'm ready to roll.
Ready to roll? Okay, so we like to dive right in, without any like BS or pretext. So, have you ever driven a Nissan?
No, I can't drive.
Well, that was the follow-up question. Is you're a New York person and you don't have your license?
So when I was 16, I was so ready to get my license. I went and did like one driving lesson. I drove in the parking lot with my dad, and then I went around like three city blocks, and I was like, okay, cool, I'm ready. I got my permit. I had it for a long time, and then it expired, and I never actually went and got my license. So on tour, I'm always just like, guys, like I'm really happy to run the playlist and, make this ride so comfortable because I can't contribute driving wise, but it is a goal of mine to get my license this year.
Okay, two questions. One, do you mind if we ask how old you are?
I'm turning 25 next Tuesday.
Okay. And then two, what do you use as an ID?
I have a state issued ID, which I did have to go specifically ask for because I think like most people have their licenses or permits, and I used to use my permit as my ID. But yeah, I have like it says a non-driver's ID, and I use that, and it's kind of really funny.
I had one of those. You have to go to the DMV to get it.
Yeah,
It's
you
the
do.
exact same process. It just says that you can't drive on it. Mine was because I was a bad driver.
Oh, did you get your license? Was it like they took it?
They took it away because they said I went too fast, too much.
That's the official word. You went too fast, too much. We're gonna need that license.
But yeah, so they're easy to get. You just go to DMV, right?
Yeah.
Same
I
thing
love
there.
mine. Yeah, they have my height wrong on it, so I'm always scared that like at the airport, someone's gonna stop me and they're gonna be like, "You're not 5 foot," because I'm closer to like 5'9", but someone printed it wrong, so now I have to live with that.
Oh, that's like a big difference.
I
That's
know.
not like I'm 5'4.5", so I'm like 5'5", but 9 inches is a
I
big
know.
deal.
It is a big deal. I'm kind of like stressed sometimes about it, but I think ultimately like it's more encouragement to try and get my license.
Yeah. I had a fake ID in college, like before I turned 21 in college, and that's how it got taken from me, is because the guy's ID was like, I'm 6 foot when I stand up straight. That's what my license says.
Uh-huh.
6 foot when he stands up straight, but the fake ID said like 5'5" or something. So it was a dramatic difference as well. And one bouncer was like, "You're not. This isn't you." And I was like,
So funny. I had a fake ID in college, just riffing off of ID talk. That was like some friend's sister's ID, and it wasn't me. It was like a fake, but like a real ID, but it was expired. And one time I just remember someone being like, "Oh my God, I live like a block away from you," like out loud near the front door of the bar that I was about to go in. And I was like, "That's crazy. I love Staten Island." Like had never been in my life. So yeah, I'm doing well.
"Oh goodness, that's the second time Staten Island has come up in 2 days."
No way. Who else brought it up?
The band we had on yesterday, a great band from Minnesota called Bad Bad Hats, and the lead
Oh
singer,
yeah,
you know them? Yeah, it's
I've heard of them.
same
Yeah,
people, yeah.
totally.
And she was telling a story about food eating at a place. Actually, it sounds very cool, where every week or every weekend they have a different grandmother cook the menu at this restaurant.
That's so cool.
Yeah, right. We
Me
were
too.
both
I think I heard
salivating.
about this. That's so cool. There's like a restaurant that is always booked. I think in Lower Manhattan, or no, it's in Brooklyn. And I was actually just looking into this because I was like, oh, I kind of want a dinner cooked by a grandmother. Like I miss my grandma. Like she lives kind of far. And I realized that like this restaurant has booked out for months, and it's like this one grandma who calls herself Nona, like Italian for grandma, and
Italian.
she'll like cook all the meals or like with a prep kitchen and like a couple of people helping, but it's a very small kitchen and it's like reserved further out than Lucali's.
Wow. I am on board for all of this. And also, it's just we always do this around this time. It's always like I'm starving right
Oh yeah, I feel that. Me
Okay.
too.
I just want because I'm so curious with the driving. If you were in a pickle, let's say you're on tour and someone gets too wasted, could you get behind the wheel confidently?
I actually think I could um probably. The issue would be parking mainly.
Yeah.
Like I think like I could drive, on a highway. Maybe it would be a little bit sketchier, but like in a smaller town, definitely. Like
Yeah.
Burlington, Vermont, like I can do that. But if you put me in Virginia, where I have to be on like the highway and everyone's driving 120 miles per hour and it's scary looking, then I don't know. But I definitely could do it in a crunch. That's my final answer.
What if it's a stick shift?
Actually, the first car I ever drove was a stick shift, and I had no idea what I was doing.
I don't think I could do it right
No, I
now.
definitely couldn't. I couldn't do it even if I had my license and you gave me like 40 hours of lessons. Like I could never.
Oh, all right. We're gonna move on. Do you have any nieces or nephews?
No, my sister's getting married this year though, and I would love to be an aunt to a niece or a nephew. So
Aw.
pending niece.
Pending Niece. I like that. That's the name of one of your upcoming albums,
Exactly.
but it's like Nice, France. So it's like
Exactly.
cool and artsy.
A city that you would rather visit than Paris, but no one will tell you about it.
Yeah. No one will tell you how to get there. Well, speaking of cool and hip, is this correct? You're in Greenpoint?
That's correct.
Okay, cool. Can you do you mind telling us what street you live on?
Um, I will say Eagle Street.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Eagle Street. And also all the letters are it's alphabetical
Yeah.
up in North Greenpoint. So it's really fun because if you forget what street comes next, you can just go, oh, well, F comes next. And you'll probably remember that like Freeman is next.
Yeah. I love Greenpoint so much. I lived on Morgan Avenue for a summer,
Oh
and
wow.
my goal is I'm in Florida now. I lived in New York for a long time. I'm in Florida now. My goal is to move when I move back to live on Guernsey Street. I don't know if you know that street with the
Yes, I
pretty
do.
trees. Oh, I love that
Yeah.
street so much.
It's all the streets up there are so pretty. I love that. I like grew up in Manhattan and the Bronx. So moving to Brooklyn was a big thing for me because that's where all my friends used to hang out and stuff. And so when I finally moved there, I lived in Bushwick, and Bushwick's great. And there's like a really great art scene, and like people just there's always something to do. Like people always find somewhere to gather, and I love that. But Greenpoint is so like it's like near the water. And when I lived in Bushwick, I could see all my friends, they all lived like down the street, but I felt like I was not seeing trees anywhere because it like if I have this thing where like the tendency to stay inside if I'm working on something, and like at Greenpoint, like if I go out to get a coffee, like you just aren't immediately near those really pretty streets, and you can have like a little short escape.
Totally agree. I hope to be your neighbor again in like, I don't know,
Absolutely.
8 years, whenever my daughter goes to college. That'll be the time. We are going to be, well, we'll talk after this. After the recording, we're going to tell you some more fun New York stuff. But Greenpoint, do you know Pauly G's Pizza?
I sure do. I love him specifically, and I love that.
He's great. And then something, sorry, I'm just writing notes. There's two things we're going to talk about after the program. Greenpoint, do you know Early?
Oh, the coffee shop?
Yeah, I love that place.
Yeah. I would go in there. I like there's so many coffee shops around there, and I don't know if you know Sweetleaf, but that's like my
Yeah.
favorite place in the world. Yeah, and I, it's like around the corner and it's the best. And I just love all the baristas there. And like there's this one drink they have, rocket fuel, that's like it's basically like it has the effect of exactly what its name is. So it will send you soaring like from 7 a.m. when you drink it. And it's also just like the sweetest, most perfect beverage. And I just like couldn't get it every day because it's like a $10 drink, but I love it so much. And I am so loyal to that place. But I started expanding to like Odd Fox and Early and like a couple of the other ones, and they're really great.
Early's great. I love their egg sandwich, the brioche.
Oh,
Highly
it's so
recommend.
good.
Abby, I feel like would love that rocket fuel thing. She likes like sugary things, which is perfect segue because I have this. When a coffee shop asks for your name, how badly do they mess it up?
Oh, I think so. One thing Starbucks has done that if I ever go to Starbucks, which isn't like my pick, but if I was ever like visiting my sister in Boston and like there's not a Dunkin' right around the corner, I'm like, okay, well, Starbucks is here. You can like they print your name because you type it with the app. But
Yeah.
anywhere in the neighborhood, like other than the coffee shops that know me now, like they use the double E, like I've had an H in there, like
An
it's
H?
almost like always wrong somehow. Like, and my favorite one is Misa, which is Misa, because instead of like Lisa, of course, like the next funniest thing is Misa. So
I have a sub question is, do you hate Lisa?
I do because I feel like it's not me. Like if it was, I don't know, if it was like a really different name, but it just feels like they don't know me like that. Like I don't want to be called Lisa. I think it's a really pretty name, but it's not my name. And if it was like a name that didn't exist, I'd be like, that's kind of cool. But because it's Lisa, but I've definitely like there was like one coffee shop that thought I was Lisa from the beginning, and I felt so shy. I was like, I'm not gonna say anything. So they just thought I was Lisa the whole time, and that was fine.
That's how I feel about Brian. I'm like,
I'm sure it
Brian.
drives you crazy.
Yeah. Also, you don't look like a Lisa at all. So it's
That's true, actually. I'll agree. I'll weigh in.
okay. Do you in your apartment have smoke detectors?
Ooh, so half of them work and half of them don't, but that's because for some reason they installed like 6 of them that we don't need for a 3-bedroom, like very small kitchen situation. So we might have pulled one of them out because it was the kind of smoke alarm where like every time you microwave something, it starts screaming. But yes, I do.
My first apartment in New York, if you use the microwave at all, the whole floor's power would go out.
Oh my God.
So you had to like make sure to unplug it and turn off other things. It was wild.
That's so funny.
Do you know why I asked about smoke detectors?
No. Oh, yes, I do. Yes, I do. Actually, gotcha. Smoke screen.
Yeah. I have to say right now, my favorite song is Sever, but
Oh, sick.
that might change soon. I feel it, ebbing and flowing. You lived in London.
I did.
We ask a lot of people who lived in London this question.
Okay.
Did you ever find good tacos in London?
No, I can absolutely, without a doubt, say I never found good tacos in London.
We
And you never had a yes?
No, because it's
Oh,
not a thing. But the only thing we all agree on is we have to open up like a legit taco place in London. You would
I
clean
think
up.
that's a great idea. It would literally clean up. Also, like, yeah, there's just not any sort of good, like, either Mexican or Tex-Mex, or like salsa doesn't really exist
There's
there.
no
Like I think
chilies.
there's no chilies. I think like I don't know. There could be a whole department there. We could really clean out. And I'll invest. I don't know how much we would need to start, but I can definitely put a 20 in for the first shop.
I could put $20 and a lot of great ideas in, but other than that, I don't know how that works.
Okay. Well, then I think as long as we bring this idea to like, I don't know, like who would be an influential British, we could tell Dua Lipa about it. I feel like she would care.
Yeah, she's going to be on the pod right after this, and she's a big listener, so
Perfect.
she'll definitely.
If you could call me in for that call, you could be like, oh, Nisa, sorry, like actually the call's over, and I'll be like, sorry, hey, Dua. And then,
Yeah, I'll be like, "Hey, Dua Lipa, this is Lisa right here," and then all hell will break loose.
and then it'll all be over.
What if
Uh,
she was Dua Lisa?
I know
Ooh.
we
It could
just
be our
messed
side
up.
project.
That'd be
Yeah.
a funny thing is to have a very like that level star and just fuck up her name the whole time.
It'd be
Like,
so funny.
oh,
So funny.
I'd be terrible. I don't think I could pull it off. Okay. Do you that you know of do anything weird in your sleep?
I sleepwalk sometimes, but it hasn't happened in a while.
Okay.
But this is story that my sister told me once when we were on vacation. We were staying at my aunt's house, and she had this like big spiral staircase, and then like I guess the kitchen was right downstairs, and it was like 1 in the morning, and a couple people were still awake hanging out. But I went to bed, and I might have been like 14 or 15 or something. And this was like my sleepwalking era. Like I was in it, like how post-punk was a whole thing with like dry cleaning a couple years ago. This was like my dry cleaning sleepwalking era. And I would do it every night and everyone expected it. But I guess like this was just a shocking way that it happened is like they were all just like eating and I like walked in and everyone was like, hey Nisa, like they thought I was awake, but I didn't acknowledge anyone. And I walked over to the fridge and I pulled out a thing of yogurt and I started to eat it. And then put it back in after like maybe 2 bites and went back upstairs. And I have no memory of it. And I've never heard of like sleepwalking, like doing things while you're sleepwalking, but I wasn't awake. So I'm sure I wanted yogurt, but
Or yeah, that's bananas. I don't even have anything to follow up on.
sorry. This
What
is
kind of yogurt was it? I'm just kidding. Uh, what did you use the spoon? Did you wash the spoon? Um, no dream speak. Boom. That's where that question comes from.
Ooh, I figured that was a good one.
We are on a roll right now. Okay. Speaking of sleep, what kind of blanket do you use at night? Are you going like a duvet, quilt, knitted blanket? What are we talking here?
I love a knitted blanket. One of my aunts is really good at knitting and loves doing it. So I have one of her blankets at home that I love. Um, and also a weighted blanket, which I was introduced to during one of the like holiday white elephant exchanges that I was in. Someone was like, does anyone want this blanket? And I saw that it's supposed to like hug you.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I was like, what? That's the best gift here. And I really love them.
Oh, I love that for you. Okay, here this is so I'm sure we've all heard that phrase. I love that for you. Does it sound condescending to anyone else?
Does it sound kind of condescending? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, in a cute way. It's like kind of like teasing, like, oh, love that for you. If you say it like that, I think it's the inflection, like
Yeah.
And
ending.
I think it's kind of a little bit of our Southern influence as well, because it's very bless your heart. You could go
Oh, yeah,
either way.
totally.
Yeah. A
I, I
co Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I feel like I've definitely run into people who I don't know that well who've said it to me, and we still haven't like caught a vibe, and I'll be like, you love that for me? Like I have a good friend, Olivia, she says this thing, I wish them well, but like same thing as like bless your heart. It's like, do you? But like we know, but the person she's saying it to doesn't. So I feel like it's also the intent.
Yeah, I had a coworker say it to me today, and I'm like, it just sounds like she's like, I love that for you. And I was like, yeah, it sounds.
I feel like I've said that to you. No, I think I just say love that. I don't think I go.
I think the love that is like innocent, and then the for you is like, would you not love it for
That's where
yourself?
the bitchy part comes in. Yeah.
But I'm guilty. I say it all the time.
You heard it here, everyone listening. All right. Do you have Dropbox? Is it full? Mine's been full. I've never used it, but somehow it's full.
Mine is always full. It's always also like really aggressive. Like it's always yelling at me in my email, like Dropbox is full, even if I haven't taken any files or like sent any files. But then when I need one file sent, it's like, sorry, we don't have the room for you. Sorry, you're gonna have to pay $20. And somehow I feel like I'm always paying some subscription for literally send one file. So
Do you put, is that where you like store your music? Like, is that why it's taking up? Like,
I used to store my demos in Dropbox, but now I use Google Drive
yeah.
because I feel like there's more organization because I'm more used to like the seamless platform. Hashtag ad. But I definitely like use Dropbox to receive like photos and stuff still because I think it's the better like way to keep the high quality. And like some like raw files, I didn't realize like photo files will take up most of the space.
Technology.
Technology.
Uh, these are funny. We have a few in a row that are real funny and ambiguous, I guess. Are you prone to exaggerate?
No, I'm I'm not the best liar. So my exaggerations are also not always, people don't always like, you know, take things I say with a grain of salt. So
But you're not like exaggerating like left and right. We all have that friend or multiple friends where they're just exaggerating left and right. Something could happen. They retell it a second later, and somehow you love London Mexican food. And you're like, that's not what happened.
yeah, I'm like a big, if I'm tired, I'm the most tired person who's ever existed. And I think that's my biggest exaggeration. Because I'll have slept like 6 or 7 hours and I'll be like, I did not sleep this entire week. So I think I exaggerate when it comes to the little things.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. I'm not exaggerating when I say I love the song Exaggerate. Boom. Bam.
Thank you very much.
We're gonna win a Pulitzer for this shit.
I think these are amazing questions, by the way.
Thank you, thank you. You ever walk around and just think to yourself that you're a creep? That's a question we wrote down.
Yeah, sometimes. Because
You ever creeping?
yeah, I think I creep a lot. I think if you live in New York, you have to a little bit because like you want to be aware and you can kind of get lost in like the stress of everything. And I think it's fun to creep on other people, like just kind of living their lives in the world, having completely separate concerns and like their own dramas and agendas. And I like to like sometimes creep when I'm sitting in the park or something. I creep on dogs. Like in fact, I intrude and invade people's personal space when it comes to dogs and often don't even address the human in the interaction. Which I think like I'm right. That's all I have to say.
I do that. And honestly, I used to have a dog. And sometimes when people would try to speak with me, I'm like, you're not here for me. And I don't want to be your friend. Pet my dog and move on. Pet the dog. Adorable. Now go.
And I go,
Oh, it's
yeah,
such a
don't
good
even,
buffer.
It
I
is.
know.
It's fabulous. I'm like, you like my dog? Cool. Me too. Bye.
It's like, I know why you're here and you know I am here. Now go.
Mm-hmm.
Let's be honest with this transaction here. New York is great for rebranded creeping. Like I used to always wear my sunglasses on the subway, no matter what time of day, just to judge, just to look at people. So they didn't know I was looking at them. Sitting on the stoop, drinking 40s. You just people watch. People watching is just creeping.
It is ultimately, but it's like, I don't know. I think it's God-given right when you live in this city. Like you are allowed. No one gets mad when I'm like watching a couple fight on the street because like, come on, like that's reality TV made real. Like this is kind of, we're living this history. So I think it's fun. I also think it's really fun to like, I don't know, like if someone will talk to me on the bus, like I'll talk to them the entire bus ride. And for some reason that always happens to me. Like I'll sit on the bus and someone sitting next to me will start talking to me, and then it turns into like me hearing about their family history. And I think that's more just being a little bit like naive when it comes to that stuff rather than creeping, but it's a fine line.
Oh, I've had some of the best interactions though, just talking to strangers. And I know you're not supposed to do that. We're not promoting that. It's just, I feel like if you have a good judge of their creepness, you can interact and hear those good stories. But if they're like super creep, then you're like, all right, gotta go.
Agree.
This is my stop.
This
As a New Yorker, this is like number one creep is if you walk by like a first floor apartment and they have their window open. You're like, what's what?
oh
And it's not to see what really, not initially to see what they're doing. It's to see the apartment.
Absolutely. I mean, the whole thing with like, if anyone has high ceilings and like pretty chandelier, I'm like moth to a flame because I just want to know. And
Yeah.
I don't actually care what's happening. Sometimes it's funny to walk by like a third or fourth floor apartment in Brooklyn and you can see what they're watching. And it's like, oh, I
Yeah.
love, Children of Men. Like it's really fun to sometimes.
What a great pull. What a specific movie to say. That opening sequence is fantastic. And the closing thing, the all one shot.
Do for
What are you currently procrastinating on?
Ooh. Um, hmm. I have to make a little video for something, and the deadline is fast approaching. So I'm procrastinating that more so because I think I like sometimes priorities get mixed up in my head as an OCD thing, and I'm like, all right, well, I'll do this later. And now I'm like, okay, I'll do this now. I'm also procrastinating on finishing a book that I've been reading. Because at this point, do you know when like enough time has passed and you are embarrassed by like the amount of time you've left to finish like 3 chapters? The book is Norwegian Wood, and I tell everyone I read that book, but in my heart of hearts, I know that I never finished it. So
You're talking to two people who have probably done that this year. I'm trying to finish. Do you read multiple books at once?
yeah, if it no more than like 2 at a time though. Like I'll do like an audiobook and a book and then like another book, but I feel like the audiobooks are just like I count them as like listening.
Yeah, yeah, they're like podcasts. I get it. I'm trying to finish the 2 books that I currently have right now. And I'm like, both of them have like 40 pages. So it's like by Friday is my goal.
You can do it. I believe in you.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm procrastinating. There you go.
Yeah. Listen, it's Wednesday. Like today was built for procrastinators to feel stressed that Friday is almost coming.
Yeah. It's the weekend. It's already the weekend if you count it like that, like what you said.
Yeah.
What are you currently listening to? Like, what are you into? What kind of tunes?
What kind of tunes am I into? I've been listening to a lot of different things. Herb Alpert and the Tijuana Brass Band,
Nice.
one that I've been really into. And also Wanda Jackson. I'm kind of doing like a pullback from the 60s to the 80s currently, and genre kind of expanding on that, like as I find things. And then I've been listening to a lot of Chapel Roan also. I think she's really cool. And I'd like discovered her album later. I think later than like social media kind of was like shouting about it, which it rocks. So I'm happy I'm listening now. And I'm also listening to this artist, Hannah Pruse, sorry, who lives in New York, who is on a label that my friend Elijah started and just has like the most beautiful collection of songs out recently. So shout out there.
Oh, very cool. They're all big listeners. Uh,
I'm sure.
no, but I can't wait to. We love music homework here. Like you tell us, we take it very seriously. You tell us to listen to someone, we're gonna listen. And then what are you currently manifesting?
Ooh. I am manifesting that my writer's block goes away. Because it's been harder for me to kind of jump back into writing the last few months. I think because of I've been like reading and listening a lot and kind of set myself up for that start to the year. And now I'm really excited to be kind of like thinking about writing again. And I journal a lot, so I think that also like the lines can blur. But yeah, I've been kind of getting stuck the last few times that I've tried. So I'm trying to make more space for that.
I wish you all the luck in the world. I know what it's like. And I know it's all this is gonna hate saying this, but it's all in your head. Yay. So
Totally, it is.
and I deal with that too. I don't know if you saw there, but we asked 3 currently questions based off your song Currents.
Love it.
See what I did there? Um, this one, there's no like skirting around this one. Ferris wheel or carousel?
Ooh, Ferris wheel.
Yeah, really? Okay.
Yeah, I love a Ferris wheel.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Even though you get like stuck at the top.
I actually think that's the best part. You can
Oh,
like,
okay.
because imagine this, you're on the Ferris wheel with your crush, and you know that you're going to end up at the top at one point, and then it stops, and then you're removed from society for whatever 2 minutes, or either it feels really long or really short, depending on if you enjoy the ride. But that's your chance to say something. And I also think that applies to anything. You could just use that 1 minute to like meditate or try to say all the states really fast backwards or something. Just you have a minute and a half or 2 minutes to yourself or to the person you're with. And I think that it's fun to have that view and just like suspended in, as Kate Bush would say, suspended in Ferris wheel.
Amazing answer. I have follow-up questions. Aren't you like trapping your crush there?
Yes.
You're trapped.
They went on
Listen,
the ride, so it was voluntary.
It was
yeah,
voluntary to take you out of it.
consent.
It's literally like, I don't know, like if you went on the Ferris wheel with me, you knew we would be here eventually, is what I have to say. Like the shock shouldn't be that significant.
Yes, I agree. Okay, so saying the states backwards, do you just mean them backwards alphabetically or like pronouncing each name in reverse?
Oh, I meant alphabetically, but it's really funny to just try them all in reverse. But I feel like you'd run out of time with like Alabama. Because what would it be? Alabama, Emma. Yeah, it would just take too long.
Well, New York, I just did New York. It's Croyman.
Croyman.
There
I
you
feel
go.
like whoever was up there with you would be like, what are you transforming into an alien? Like, what are these words? But it would be
Listen,
really
I have a crush on you, but now we have to say all the states backwards.
Listen, I
Go.
don't have time. I need to first get this out.
I love you. I've always loved you. Alabama backwards. What is it?
I think that could be really charming though.
Yeah. You're like just, and if they go for it, you're like, it's meant to be.
Exactly.
Indeed, indeed.
All of our,
Panic. It's giving me anxiety just thinking about that.
I know.
Okay. So how do you feel about scented candles?
Um, I I like scented candles.
Do you have a favorite scent?
My favorite scent? Hmm. I like pine scent because I think, and this goes back to the car trauma of not being able to drive. I think like any kind of like freshener that I like, I'm not like used to like car freshener smell. So when I get in a car and the car smells fresh, I'm like, it's the best thing I've ever smelled in my life. And I think that that applies to candles too, because like pine is just such a nice smell and I don't live near a forest really. So it always makes me happy.
I that that makes me so happy because I get it. I get the like, I don't know, newness of it. You live, I mean, you have McCarran Park, so.
I'm gonna shout out McGolrick Park.
Oh yeah.
Like my favorite park in New York, and it is so peaceful, and it feels like it's not like it feels so different than, and McCarran is so great, and I like hanging out and picnicking there, but McGolrick is like the park I want to sit and eat a bagel in and
Yeah.
like snoop on people.
It's a good park. I used to walk by that park every day. My roommate at the time, we would take his dog to the dog park on the whatever side that is. Do you have a dog? You mentioned dogs.
No, I'm obsessed with them. But yeah, I can't currently have a dog, but I hope to soon. And it's one of those things too where like um if I had a more like if I knew I was going to be in town, you know, like year round, I would I would feel confidently that like, okay, if I need someone to watch the dog for a couple of days, like that'll be fine. But I think I would be so sad if I had to go on tour twice and not like have someone to watch the dog. But my parents could, as they also live in New York, probably like help. But at this point, I've just like convinced myself that I need to wait a little longer. So instead, I just like snoop on everyone else's dogs. And if there's a dog within a mile radius, like I'll know.
That's why Snoopy was named Snoopy because people snooping on dogs. You know that? Fun fact.
Didn't know that. I
Yeah.
studied Snoopy in college.
We need to make you a shirt that just says dog creep.
I know, like as I'm walking through the park, like
Yeah.
smiling. Why is everyone walking around?
There comes the neighborhood dog creep again.
There was this crazy thing happening in Greenpoint a few years ago. It was actually pretty scary, but he was called the Greenpoint Strangler. And he didn't strangle people, but he would punch women, which like was something happening in New York recently. And it wasn't the same man, but I like
Was he naked?
no, but I feel like you probably, I mean, maybe at one point, you know, like, yeah, I don't know his whole lore, but I remember when I moved into my apartment, my roommates waited until after to be like, oh, like, have you come across the Greenpoint Strangler yet? And I was like, God damn it. Like, I knew it was too good to be true.
What?
So his is like up around, or used to be up around town a bit with like the title. So I think about that and I'm like, that, but me as the dog creep.
Yeah, they're gonna start posting photos of you.
No.
Have you seen this lady? Um, okay, this is for both of you actually, because I do it. I've started to do this like every morning. You ever just lay down flat on the floor and get a really good stretch on?
All the time.
I love it. Yes, me too.
All the time.
And then you like feel it, you hear it, oh, it's so good. I've been doing it every morning, like right when I wake up.
Stretching is the best. And whenever anyone has an issue, I'm like, did you stretch today? Even if it's has nothing to do with their physical health. But I think stretching is the best thing ever.
Yeah. I'm not doing like any quote unquote stretching exercise. I'm just literally laying on the floor like a cat or a dog and just giving a good old stretch.
That's all you need sometimes.
Yeah, it feels real good. This episode brought to you by just good old fashioned stretches.
That it makes me want to stretch too.
Right? Yeah.
When someone yawns and you're like, I was about to do that.
We just did this as well. I asked, and I'll ask you, let's keep the yawn thing going. I think you might be too young. I think you hit a certain age where you scream yawn, where your yawns get louder.
Yeah. My boyfriend does that. He like scream yawns and it's like, why are you doing that at 8 in the morning? It's like he has a deep voice too, so he'll yawn and it's like, "Ooh." It kind of sounds like a whale. But
So now that we're talking about this, everyone have the urge to yawn.
yeah, I do. I was fighting it.
I
With
am too. Let's change the subject. What's your favorite form of potatoes?
ooh, I like okay. I love mashed potatoes, but my favorite potato is a Korean sweet potato. They're the best sweet potatoes. And this grocery store, H Mart sells them.
Oh yeah.
And I always go and get them. I get them like on a weekly basis, and it's like a treat. Like it tastes so good and they're really nutritious.
Are they pre-made or are you making them?
I've like bought them both ways. Like they have pre-made ones if you're like I'll get pre-made ones and if I just want potatoes, yeah. But sometimes I'll buy raw potatoes and I'll just like cook the sweet potatoes, but they're so yummy.
Mashed potatoes and Korean sweet potatoes. Wow, that's incredible.
You have to try them if you haven't.
I can't wait. I'm not even joking. Again, we're back to food. We always go back to food on this pod, and again, I'm starving. This is a collective question here. If you could have any weird superpower, what would you like to have? So no flying, no invisibility, no shape shifting.
Dang it.
I have an example, and the example is talk to squirrels.
Talk to squirrels.
Yeah.
That's really good. I feel like I do that already though. Sorry.
Yeah, you're a squirrel creep too?
Yeah, like when a squirrel wants to talk to you, like you'll know,
Okay.
is all I can say. But
I
a
don't know
weird
if they ever want
superpower.
to talk to me.
Your time hasn't come yet, but it will.
Yeah, okay.
I want the power to control the weather.
Ooh, okay.
Like today,
Storm from the X-Men.
yeah, it's stormy and it's rainy, and I have to walk to the train later, and I don't have my umbrella on me. So if I could just like change the weather, be great. That's kind of my quirky superpower.
But you can only change where it's coming from. Like, so if it's raining, the rain comes from the bottom.
Yes.
So
Actually,
yeah.
I'll take that.
If it's snowing, it snows up.
If it's raining, it's actually gonna flamethrow.
Oh, okay. Abby, do you think of one? I see the wheels moving.
I think I want the, you said weird, so the ability to eat whatever and whenever I want without gaining weight or also like having to be hungry.
Yes.
Because sometimes I'm like, ooh, I want to eat that, but I'm like really full. And so it's a bad idea. Also, I can't eat a lot of things. So I would like to be able to just eat those things.
You're like avocado.
Please, avocados.
Mm-hmm.
What's
You
your
have a lot of
superpower? My superpower is
do.
avocado.
Avocado is my superpower. Avocado rising.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I actually also had an avocado. I have like a stone fruit allergy, but it's not always, I kind of get away with it sometimes. Like cherries, if they're baked or like some like cooked in any way are fine, but otherwise they hurt and I'm allergic. Same thing with like peaches. But again, like I have a sweet tooth, so I don't know. I kind of test my luck sometimes.
That is my allergy as well. No,
Oh, really?
If it's
Wow.
cooked, they're fine. So every fruit and or vegetable I'm allergic to, if it gets cooked, I can eat it.
Oh man.
I just can't eat it raw.
Yeah. Oh.
It's a bummer.
True.
You
Who's
guys are
cooking
super
avocados?
villains.
No one's cooking avocados.
No one's cooking them yet. But when we make our taco shop in London
Yes.
with avocados, like the world's gonna stop turning.
I'm into this. I am into this.
Mhm.
I don't know if it cooks it, but like I've cut open an avocado and broken an egg and baked it.
That does.
Ooh.
It just has to be heated to a certain temperature
Oh,
for me.
okay.
I feel like it's the same for me. It's just like if it's baked or cooked or fried, like I'm good, but raw stuff doesn't agree always.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry for your loss. Thoughts and prayers.
We make do.
When's the last time you hurt yourself?
I recently tripped and it was kind of funny because I was like sleep deprived. My sister who's getting married had like a bachelorette party and I was like, okay, I'll fly in like the night of the first event or whatever. and my flight ended up getting delayed. So I got in really, really late and I had like not slept well. And it was like 3 a.m. and I like seamlessly made it to this Airbnb we were staying at. And it was in Florida, by the way. So it was like, I was so happy to be there. I was like, it's warm here. And I was like, hey, losers, and like tripped immediately and like fell, but it was so late that I didn't see the bruise that night. But the next morning, I just saw this like giant bruise on my knee that I didn't remember getting. And then I was like, oh, it's because you did that thing. That was my last injury.
You said it was a bachelorette party?
Yeah.
You got the bachelorette bruise.
The Bachelorette Bruise.
Yeah, that sounds like a song if I've ever heard one. So
I'm already actually writing it down. So
yeah, see, we broke your writer's block right there. Please
both get co-writing credit, and I really appreciate it because my writer's block is done.
Bachelorette Bruise. It sounds a little country-ish.
I was gonna say like a Gillian Welch song.
Yeah. Oh, that's fun.
Like if I saw that in her demo somewhere, I'd be like, yeah, this one never made it, but the title sure resonates.
Indeed. So this isn't really a question. It's just I'm going to tell a story that I met someone recently that was talking about sea glass.
Oh yeah.
They were like, "What is it?" And I was like, "Oh, it's just
Like glass
glass."
from the beach?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I was like, "Oh, it's glass that's been like pummeled in the ocean and smoothed over." And they were blown away.
Isn't it crazy? Isn't it
Didn't
one of the
they
coolest things?
didn't did you
They
knew
hear-
we all knew this, right?
Everyone knew, right? Because someone put out a song about it in August of last year.
Yeah.
I think sea glass is so cool. My vinyl for this record for Shapeshifting is we were trying to figure out what to call it, and we were like, we want to call it something that has a song title in it. And Sea Glass is the bonus track on the album. So we were like, sea glass, how about magenta sea glass? Because it's not necessarily like a translucent color, but we looked up the color magenta sea glass. I'm gonna pull a picture up because it's so striking. And it was like the exact color of the vinyl. And so I love sea glass and I'm happy that it made it onto the record.
I'm writing all this down. Magenta sea glass, we gotta look that up. And oh my God, that's so, but this person I was speaking to just thought it was like a product of the ocean, like that it was like from an animal.
So, okay, animal, no, but technically it could be a product of the ocean because glass is made from sand.
Ah,
True.
it's an exhausting technicality.
I'm so happy with the reaction that I got out of you for that.
That
So,
happiness you're feeling is the happiness I feel when I ask a really dumb question and you look defeated. Like how, like you look embarrassed.
I love to make a statement and like or ask a question and there's just like brick wall because there's no way that you could even try like attempt to answer it. That's kind of the best reaction if you ask me.
Yeah. We've had a few of those moments that are very fun. I like to do this off record.
Yeah. I'm very happy that someone was able to learn about sea glass, by the way, enlightening them about one of the cooler things that our planet has.
It is very cool. It's also like litter at the same time, but also art made by the earth, you know. It has it's deep. Get it? That's an ocean pun.
I should change my background to like the ocean now. The jokes are getting real good.
Well, let's talk about your background because I think you're only the second person to ever have a background.
Oh, really?
well, I'm also impressed because it's not glitchy.
It's not. I was thinking the same thing.
So
It's not like cutting off her ears. Or
Yeah.
I actually did this randomly for a job interview a long time ago. And one time I think I was Zooming like a family member and this was in the background. And they were like, where are you? Like, that's not New York. And I was like, oh, like, no, this is actually just a background. Haha. And I realized like, it's pretty. I like it. And I chose it randomly. I Googled like forest background, and it's just stuck with me.
And
And
so you picked a golf course.
yeah, exactly. I forgot. I always forget to remove it. But like my current background's not pretty at all, so this is better. It's just
It's-
so
We dig it. We dig it. Like Abby said, it's not glitchy or well, like most of them are. And for those listening, Lisa is live on the golf course. Sorry, I couldn't resist. Here's the question that usually defeats Abby. Do you follow us on Instagram?
We'll find out.
You better. It's Bothering the Band. This is where we shoehorn in social promotion. Everyone follow Nisa underscore. What is it? I have it written.
Online.
Nisa underscore online. And it
Yep.
has a blue check mark.
There's a little blue check mark, and I do follow Bothering the Band as of 30 seconds ago. Yeah.
Sweet.
Yay.
Now we're in the nitty gritty. Okay. Now that we got that going for us. Which song of yours, we've talked about a lot of them, alluded to a lot of them, should we end this episode with?
Ooh. I would end this episode with, I think it could be fun to end with Sever, because it's your favorite. I think that I'd like that.
Okay, cool. Great. I love it. And if you could bother a musician, live or dead, in the vein of Bothering the Band, so really stupid questions, who would you bother?
Ooh, I think I would bother Bjork.
Who won? And what would you ask her?
First of all, I'd be like, "Hey, girl," because I feel like I'd be nervous. And
There's
then,
something about saying "Hey, girl" to Bjork. Hey, girl.
"Hey,
And she
girl,"
comes back with it too. It'd be so great if she came back with it.
best "Hey, girl" I ever received. If she said to me, "I love that for you," I would believe that she meant it like with her whole heart.
But she would like whisper it to you, and then you turn around and she's somehow over there.
Gone. Yeah. Exactly. Just like the like mist would be there from
Yeah.
where she's standing. I would ask her what her studio looks like. I feel like I've only ever watched like older interviews of her like set up on the floor somewhere making debut or something, and I've been like, that's amazing. I love that so much. I kind of also don't really work in one place, and I really love moving around when I write, and like I'm inspired by adapting to a location, and I think she does the same thing, or like has done it in the past, and I would love to know what her current studio setup is like.
I think that's not stupid enough. That's actually a really great question.
I'd also ask her what kind of alternative milk she uses. Definitely.
Yeah. She'd be like human milk. Or no, I take it back. She'd be like elf milk or something like
You'd
that.
say like elf milk, yeah.
Yeah.
She'd mean it.
Yeah. Isn't that where they come from? Like where Iceland? Is that where elves come from?
Abby, if you know the answer, yeah, that's
I mean, I thought they came from the North Pole, but I feel like it's pretty close.
yeah, they can be that far. They definitely like there's like some migrated to Iceland, probably.
Well, I think we're talking about two different types of elves.
They're from
Sure.
Germanic folklore
Oh,
originally, apparently,
I feel like there's some sort of connection there.
and Norse mythology. So there
okay,
you go.
yeah, that's close enough for us.
Yeah.
And there was one ring to rule them all.
Oh, well done. Well done. Oh,
I'm so
okay.
sorry.
No,
That's great.
thank you.
I tip my cap to you. Okay, what's next for you? Tell us all the tales.
The tales to be told are that I'm going on tour in less than a month. It's in 3 weeks now, and I'm really excited to be playing Shapeshifting live for the first time. I've played Currents before, I've played Vertigo before, but I haven't played the record by like the large part. So I'm really excited to be touring in New York. I'm doing the East Coast to start, so New York, Boston, Philly, and DC. So that's happening in May. And then in July, I'm gallivanting around Europe a little bit. So I'm hoping to get back to London maybe, and continue writing. I've been, ready to record some new music. So I'm really excited to do that as well.
What's happening on April 26th?
My album Shapeshifting is coming out. I tricked you guys because I actually did not forget to mention that. I wanted you to prompt me so like I could slam dunk it. Shapeshifting comes out on April 26th, and that is so soon, and I'm so excited to have it out in the world. I've been working on it for 3 years, and we just like really had the best time making it. So I can't wait for it to be out in the world.
I can't wait either.
Mhm.
That's what I wish my superpower was, just making albums come out quicker. Actually, we could do that
That's
for
my
this
superpower.
Friday too.
That's your
I can go
superpower.
to any concert I want to at that's my new
That's such a
superpower.
good one. I think
Yeah,
it's-
that definitely beats avocados or whatever the fuck yours
I-
was.
just like automatically on every list.
Yes.
always.
Yes.
Yes. That's
Wow.
fantastic. And what a way to wrap this up. Nisa, we were already big fans of yours, and now we are like massive fans of yours. We can't thank you enough for doing Bothering the Band and answering all these really dumb questions.
I love the questions, and I've had the best time talking to you both. And I'm a big fan of you both as well, and of Bothering the Band. And I can't wait to, see you either in New York again or when I am down south. I really want to play down in a couple more cities. I've only played New Orleans and Austin, so I'm very, very much looking forward to coming back.
I have no doubt that you'll be going more places. You're like crushing it. So keep it up.
Thank you so, so much.
How many times how many chances how many breaks will it take until we can't fix it? I can be cruel. I can be violent. But never to you. It's enough. Letting you down. Dead weight, losing our way. What did we mean to make before we had to let it fade? For